Welcome, one and all, Chiefs Kingdom. I want to tackle one of the most mystical and confusing topics for many Chiefs fans, and that is Patrick Mahomes' contract. I want to go over the life of Patrick Mahomes' contracts so far in the NFL and talk about how the Chiefs are always able to do this magic trick every year where they free up a ton of space and can remain competitive, finding free agents and other players and having extra money on hand thanks to the flexibility of Mahomes' contract. So I want to tackle that topic today. It's a complex topic, so I hope you all have your thinking caps on because we're going to get a little in-depth today. So starting out with Mahomes' career, in July 20th of 2017, shortly after he was drafted, he agreed to a 4-year contract worth $16.4 million and a $10 million signing bonus. This was Mahomes' rookie year. At this point in time, no one knew he was going to explode onto the scene and do what he was going to do over the next few seasons after Alex Smith left Kansas City. But he went on to have dominating seasons in 2018 and 2019, and the Chiefs said, "We've seen enough." And on April 30th, you probably don't remember this, the Chiefs chose to exercise Mahomes' 5th-year option. Not even 2 or 3 months later, the Chiefs went and signed Mahomes to a record-breaking 10-year contract extension worth $450 million in new money and up to $503 million with incentives. So this is a $500 million contract and was a record-breaking contract at the time. And I don't know if any other player in NFL history will ever get a 10-year extension. So this might be the only time we ever see a player get a 10-year extension. Baked into this contract were mechanisms that allowed the Chiefs to adjust his contract, Mahomes' contract, every year because a lot of the money was tied up into roster bonuses and other incentive-based bonuses that the Chiefs could then convert into a prorated signing bonus. They also created the contract such that they can convert base salary into a signing bonus and restructure that way. So this contract was built and designed with the intent that the Chiefs were going to grow over time with Mahomes, and when they needed to restructure, they could do so. This was the first contract I can think of like this at the time. Since this contract was designed by the Chiefs, there have been other teams who have taken this model. Josh Allen with the Buffalo Bills, they have this model where they can restructure Josh Allen's contract into a signing bonus pretty much every year of his career. And then the Cowboys just did it with Dak Prescott. So the Chiefs were the forerunners in this, and you really didn't see this type of contract until Patrick Mahomes came onto the scene. So the Chiefs go and play 2020. Mahomes has his new contract. He's making a ton of money. Then on March 12th in 2021, he has his first restructure. So that restructure converted $21.7 million into a roster bonus, or from a roster bonus into a signing bonus, creating roughly $17 million in cap space. The Chiefs used that money to go and sign other players, keep people on their team, and they went the next year without converting anything. Following in September 18th of 2023, since the Chiefs didn't restructure, you kind of had the idea that maybe there was something in the works. And that indeed was the case, where the Chiefs agreed to move money around so Mahomes would be guaranteed $210.6 million over a course of 4 years from 2023 to 2026, which was the largest 4-year contract in NFL history at the time. So if you remember, there were a lot of folks that were saying in that start of that 2023 season that Mahomes was just playing for too cheap. He wasn't playing for enough money. The Chiefs were taking advantage of him. And all this bad publicity was coming out based on Patrick Mahomes' contract, and those talking heads had no idea what was going on behind the scenes in Kansas City. They didn't know the Chiefs were working on restructuring Mahomes' contract. And this restructure was interesting because it wasn't as though the Chiefs were giving Mahomes a huge amount more of guaranteed money. It was just moving funds around so he would become the highest paid player. And by doing this, they freed up some room down the road with Mahomes' contract as he aged in the NFL. And there's a good reason for this, and it's because of the way the Chiefs have been handling these signing bonuses and converting Mahomes' salary to signing bonus and kind of kicking the can down the road. So that was September 18th, 2023. March 12th, 2024, restructure number 2 for the Chiefs. That freed up about $21.6 million. And then March 12th, 2025, restructure number 3, the Chiefs freed up about $20 million by converting his roster bonus into a signing bonus, and freed up a ton of room, including the restructure with Chris Jones. In total, the Chiefs were able to recoup about $40 million against the cap heading into 2025, which is a huge number. You can get all kinds of players with that money and keep a bunch of players on the team too. And so there's this pattern for the Chiefs where on March 12th, every time they've restructured Mahomes' contract, it's been on March 12th. So maybe March 12th, 2026, we see them restructure again. I would not be surprised if that happens again in 2026, because Mahomes' cap hit next year is $78 million, according to Spot Track. I've seen other places have it in the mid-60s. Either way, that's a pretty big cap hit, and the Chiefs are going to want to try to get away from that. So these restructures that the Chiefs are doing, they are prorated signing bonuses that get spread out over 5 years. So if Mahomes were to sign or to do a signing bonus in 2024, the next 5 seasons would have that signing bonus spread out over the course of those 5 years. So it's essentially kind of mortgaging for the future a little bit, mortgaging the Chiefs' future a little bit, because they're able to take a much lower pay for Mahomes that season, spread it out over 5 years. The way the cap has been growing in the NFL, and the NFL has been growing financially, those hits are not really causing the Chiefs much of an issue. So there's this feeling that many Chiefs fans have, is that, okay, they keep restructuring his contract. I'm worried about the future, what's going to happen 5 years from now. And the way that these contracts are set up, the way that the NFL is going to expand, the way the salary cap's going to grow, this is about the closest thing you can get to free money in terms of NFL cap space. Because the cap is going to continue to grow. New players are going to get signed. They're going to get paid more and more. Mahomes' contract is going to look more and more appealing and be a better value over the years. And this contract, the way it's set up, is nothing short of genius. Now, Mahomes does have a super high cap hit in 2026, a super high cap hit in 2027, but guess what the Chiefs are going to do? They're either going to restructure again into a signing bonus, spread that over 5 years, or they're going to configure a new contract with Mahomes, give him an extension, and rework all the numbers again. So the way that the proration works is spread out over 5 years. So the natural question you'd ask yourself is, okay, well, what happens when the Chiefs only have 4 years left on Patrick Mahomes' contract? So currently Mahomes is under contract until 2031. So we got at least 6 more years with Mahomes in Kansas City, and what a happy thought that is. But in 2025, Mahomes' cap hit is $28 million. 2026, $78 million. 2027, $74 million. 2028, $42 million. 2029, $44 million. 2030, $45 million. 2031, $48 million. And then in 2032 and 2033, he has 2 void years. Now, the purpose of those void years is, once again, more free money for the Chiefs, because you can spread out a prorated signing bonus over 5 years, even if those contract years are void years. So the Chiefs can go all the way up to 2028 and continue to spread that signing bonus over the next 5 seasons. 2029 is the first season, given his current contract, where the Chiefs will not be able to spread that prorated signing bonus over 5 years and save as much money as they possibly could otherwise. So what I expect to happen for Mahomes is that he will continue to dominate. The Chiefs will continue to get him at a premium, at a good value. And 2028 will roll around, and the Chiefs will start to consider extending Mahomes again. And I wouldn't be surprised if in 2027 or 2028, the Chiefs rework Mahomes' contract, give him an extension, have him playing until he's 40 years old, and then have there be 2 void years when he's 41, 42 to help spread out the chance of maximizing those prorated signing bonuses that they've been using over the years. In those void years, you can have prorated signing bonuses for players, and then if they retire or they get cut, that does not count as dead money against the cap. So I don't know why more teams don't use void years. I think it's maybe some security for the players, but I don't think Mahomes needs security because he's the best quarterback in the NFL, and he has this level of confidence that he doesn't have to worry about finagling his contract and trying to get all the money he possibly can. He knows it's going to be there. So think of those void years like a waste bucket at the end of a contract that you can just throw your prorated signing bonus into, and you don't have to worry about it. They just disappear when the player retires or they move on from the team. In terms of Mahomes' contract, like I said, I think in 2027 or 2028, the Chiefs are going to look to extend him well beyond his contract end at 2031, perhaps a 4-year extension. And then they will tack on a couple more void years. So I would not be surprised if it was a six-year extension with 2 of those years being voided. So I think that's coming up in 2027 or 2028. Now, we are going to start hearing some grumblings about how cheap Mahomes' contract is, because currently, by his APY numbers, his adjusted contract per year, or his average value per year, you're going to be really surprised to hear what I'm about to tell you. What if I told you the following quarterbacks have a higher average contract value per year than Mahomes? Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, Kirk Cousins, and then Mahomes. Mahomes is actually tied with Kirk Cousins. Mahomes is the 14th highest paid quarterback in the NFL in terms of average contract value per year. Now, granted, Kirk Cousins and Deshaun Watson are going to fall off this list when their contracts are over with their respective teams. But still, the value the Chiefs are getting from Mahomes is extraordinary. And the Chiefs are very lucky to have a player and an agent who are willing to put team above the player and are willing to do interesting and unique things to keep a competitive advantage. The Chiefs are very lucky to have Mahomes, not only because of his tangibles on the field, but because of the things he's willing to do to be successful that go beyond just being a good player on the field. He gets the totality of the situation, and there may have been some of you who are thinking, well, Mahomes, if he took less money, the Chiefs would be even better than they are now. You can't ask Mahomes to take less money whenever he's already a middle-of-the-pack quarterback in terms of average contract value per year. So Mahomes is doing everything in his power, and his agent is helping as well, and the Chiefs front office is doing everything in their power as well to keep this team in the hunt for Super Bowls every year. He is a starting quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. So if some of you are thinking that the Chiefs might, fall off a cliff here in a while, or they'll have to bite the bullet and face the can they've been kicking down the road, I am telling you no. They are not going to have to do that because of the way Mahomes' contract is set up, Mahomes' willingness to stay competitive, and the front office's capabilities of designing a contract like this and maintaining it. So there will be no cliff that the Chiefs will fall off, in my opinion, until sometime in the mid-2030s, so a decade from today. That is whenever things might start to get interesting because because Mahomes' contract will be coming to an end. They'll have a hard time passing those voided years, and we'll see what happens there in the twilight of Mahomes' career. But for the next decade, this team is going to be competitive, and they're going to be able to keep doing this. This is sustainable, and it's not going to fall off the rails. So that's all I got today. Is a bit of a complicated video. I hope you guys don't mind me walking through the cap situation of Mahomes' contract like this. But if you have any comments or notes you would like to add about Mahomes' contract, now would be the time to do it in the comments. And also, if you're new here, welcome aboard. I'm glad to have you. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and hit the like button too, because it helps share this content with other Chiefs members or other Chiefs fans who are looking for familiar content on YouTube or similar content on YouTube. Anyways, this is Gary. I'm signing out. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Y'all have a good rest of your weekend, and take it easy.